What going YouTube, man? It's Brody Smalls. I'm coming at y'all boys with another video, man. And today, as y'all can see, we're reacting to NBA myths we all believe were true. Now, low-key, I am intrigued by this. What myths are they talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? But if you did click on this video, I truly do appreciate you for watching. Feel what I'm saying? Hopefully you're having a great, fantastic day. Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for allowing me to be here, I gotta be here, and everything He done for us. Truly, thank you, Jesus Christ. But so that being said, man, Jimmy High Roller, I already know this is gonna be another banger. Sit back, get your popcorn, get your food, relax, chill, and watch this video, baby. So without further ado, give it up.
The only thing more exhilarating than being a kid at an NBA game behind the basket distracting the other team from making free throws is being a grown man behind the basket distracting the other team from making free throws. Sit in this section.
I'm sorry, I'm pausing already, but bro, I gotta look at
being a kid at an NBA game behind
as a
the
grown
basket,
man,
distracting the other team from making free throws.
As a fully grown adult man, I would never, ever do anything like this right here a day in my life. There is no chance me being a grown adult and I'm doing that in a basketball game, bro. I'm sorry. There's just no way. And brother, y'all are down. I mean, obviously they can come back. It's comebackable. Y'all are down by 17 points. This is 22. We're talking about Boston Celtics here. Y'all down by 17. Brother, sit down. Y'all are not coming back. I'm sorry. It's not worth it. And I'm sure he probably made the free throw anyway. Relax. Bro, you're a grown man. This cannot be
the other team for making free throws. Sit in this section at any basketball game, and there is
that's funny though.
The effort home teams and their fans will make to try to get the opposing team to miss a few shots at the charity stripe. Fans with signs, fans dousing themselves in paint and insane outfits. Those dreadfully loud thunder sticks they hand out before the game. Mascots themselves getting in on the action.
What kind of big old gigantic mascot is that? That look like a Titan from Attack on Titan, baby. I ain't gonna lie. I've been watching that, John. I just got done with season 1 of Attack on Titan so far. Y'all let me know down below if y'all watch that.
The only problem is fans attempting to distract free throw shooters at the line doesn't work. Like, at all. Over the years, researchers have done numerous studies into this topic and found that distracting free throw shooters...
You're a grown man in a Speedo. What are you doing?
Essentially has no effect on the results of their shot. When comparing free throw shooting of teams playing at home versus away, a negligible difference was found in free throw percentage.
Dang, it looked
Over
like
the last 25
Jack.
seasons, home teams have shot just 0.2% better from the line compared to visiting teams, suggesting that efforts made by fans of the home team have no effect on performance.
I see that.
And that even the 0.2% discrepancy was due to other factors. Years ago, Sports Science conducted an experiment testing.
Because at the end of the day, I just feel like, obviously as an athlete, you just get so used to it, and then especially like once you get in the pros and all that, you didn't see it all. So I feel like the only thing that really affects free throws is like the pressure, and maybe if like they're on like a crazy run, and then maybe the fans obviously add to the like this, the fans are gonna add to the energy and make it be loud or something. Yeah, all that combined affects it. But if it's just the fans alone, that's not really gonna affect somebody.
This theory, how or if fan distraction affects the shooting efficiency of players at the line. And they tried everything, and they came back with the same results. It does not.
Locked in and stay focused.
Fans attempting to distract opposing players at the line virtually doesn't affect their performance at all. However, there is a different way fans can dramatically affect free throw shooting.
That Zoom error was crazy.
And that is by not going to the games. After years of attempting to create controlled environments for these studies, researchers were given the perfect sample on the effects of fan interaction and player performance due to COVID and social distancing back in 2020 and 2021, where the NBA had a season and a half of games featuring 0 fans. And after gathering the data,
free throws were at a lower percentage than this?
Researchers found that free throw percentage jumped up by 3 to 4% without fans in attendance across the NBA, from about 76% to 79%, a percentage that fell back down to the long-standing league average of about 75% once fans were brought back into attendance.
I thought he was going to say that that the percentage went down. I was about to say that John is crazy. And whoever just tuned in, man, shout out to you. Comment, chat with your boy, let me know what's going on. And you know what I'm saying? We are reacting to a Jimmy High Roller video, by the way.
In fact, their data showed that having fans in attendance affected home teams equally as much as away teams.
What? I mean, huh?
Overall, it was found that the largest variable that had an effect on free throw shooting was the circumstance of the game.
Yeah,
how close
like
the
the
score
pressure.
was, how late
That's
the
where
shots were taken,
like
and
you
how
really
in-
miss from is like the pressure or like your own thoughts. The fans can't really.
the free throws were.
The fans itself don't add too much to it. They just add to the factors already on top of it, if that makes sense.
Although there isn't much you can do as an individual to affect the outcome of free throws,
Bro, like
if
you're
no-
a grown man. Like, come on, bro.
Though there isn't
You are a
much
grown
you can
man
do as an
wearing this, bro.
individual to affect the outcome.
Like, come, like, dog. There's no chance I would ever do that, bro.
If no one is in attendance and there is absolutely nothing at stake, your team might just hit those free throws. But this is just one of many misconceptions NBA fans have been led to believe for years. Some of them true, others just a myth.
Jimmy High Roller, watch this ad coming in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Today's video, 8 million tickets for everything,
See, your
including
bro-
my Blazers.
your boy's too
It's
smart, chat.
Only on SeatGeek.
What's going on? The hot hand.
On December 26, 2020, during a Warriors practice, Steph Curry pulled off a nearly impossible feat. Over the course of 5 minutes, Steph hit 105 consecutive three-point shots. 105 in a row. Most of these shots...
I don't know, like, bro, imagine just sitting in the gym hitting 105 straight threes, bro. Like, come on, dude. It gets to a point sometimes where you're just too good. You're just too good at basketball. You're just sitting there, like, I mentally try to think, like, I understand how it is to be the flow state. Obviously, like, I have my times, like, hitting just, like, shots in a row, like, 10 straight shots in a row, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just get in that flow state. Bro, 105 consecutive threes. If I even got anywhere near up to that point, I would get in my own head at a certain point. I would, like, just the way I am, I would mentally be like, dang, I'm hitting so much, like dang, like, can I really keep this going? Like, bro, 105 straight, mentally just zoned in, locked in. I would make a mental mistake, not because, well, obviously I can't. Like, a lot of us can't. Most of us can. 99% of us can. But, like, even when I would get to, like, maybe, like, 30 or 40 or 20, like, mentally I started getting my head like, dang, if I just make one slight mistake, my streak is over. All it takes is one.
Not even touching the rim. But Steph is the greatest shooter in the world. So
which is, yeah, that's why it's understandable.
Like
Steph Curry
should be in the realm of possibility for him. And technically, it is. If we assume Steph shoots about 95% from 3 in an empty gym during practice with no defense, the chances of him making 105 threes in a row is less than 0.5%. Possible, but there might be something else going on here. After this clip surfaced, many fans began speculating the hot hand theory, an old myth that a player who makes a sequence of shots has a greater chance of continued success in the subsequent attempts. And
that's 100% facts. 100% facts. That's not even up for, like, debate. That's true.
Be the first to tell you that the hot hand is a very real thing.
Yeah,
We've all seen the hot hand catch fire in real time, when a few good makes seems to be the direct cause of a few more good makes.
It's just something in your brain. Like, it really does. Like, whenever you see one shot going, you feel good. You see another shot going, you feel good. Then, like, let's say you hit 3 straight. All right, now you're in a whole nother mental state where you feel like legit anything that you put up is going in. Like, for real. That's the best feeling. One of the best feelings ever.
Except research says otherwise. In 1985, researchers crunched the numbers and found that there was no correlation between the success of one shot leading to greater success on the next shot. This research was groundbreaking at the time and called the idea of the hot hand a fallacy, a myth. However, recently further research was done on this topic, a lot of research, and what they found was that the hot hand does in fact exist.
Yeah,
contrary to the research done in 1985.
Bro, you can go to a high school. You know what? I mean, obviously you can research any basketball, bro. You can go to like any level of basketball. You can tell a hot hand is a real life thing. So many instances where you can see it. It's obviously just there. Like,
of modern technology, tracking data, and more detailed shooting logs, many studies have shown that when a player makes consecutive shots, the chances of their following shot going in actually does increase. Now, the results of each study are heavily dependent on the sample of players, with one sample seeing a 3 to 4% increase in shooting percentage in these hot hand moments. Another sample of players getting an 8% boost.
Dang, 8%? Well, that's probably like them streaky players. I know we all know like them players, they're not consistency like good scores or whatever, but like they're more like streaky scores. Like once they start getting hot, there ain't really much you can do about it.
And a third sample getting a 12% increase in shooting percentage after hitting 3 shots in a row, as opposed to missing 3 shots in a row. Despite the variance in the overall effect of the hot hand, the results showed that there is a very clear correlation between making your previous shots and the expected outcome of your next shot. But in 2022, researchers at the University of Pittsburgh took this one step further by not just studying the shooting habits of players at practice in controlled environments, but actually gathering data from live games. After analyzing 170,000 field goal attempts in NBA games from the 2014 and 2015 seasons, pulling from play-by-play logs.
Shout out to the people who do that research, bro. 170,000 shots. I would not have the patience for that, bro. Shout out to y'all. I cannot do that.
Tracking and comparing expected results against actual outcomes, they found that the hot hand was not only real, it had dramatic effects on the performance of certain players.
And I know them shooters for real, like I always like players like Curry or like them superstars. Boy, I know we all know the moments or see the moments. I know we all have
a statistically significant hot hand effect. After hitting 2 shots in a row, these players were 2.7% more likely to hit the third. After 3 straight makes, the boost grew to 4.4%. And after 4 straight makes, the likelihood of hitting the next shot jumped by nearly 6%. Their data also showed that the hot hand is not a constant around the league, but instead varies from player to player, suggesting that it's not about how good of a shooter they are or how well they can score, but rather how each player reacts psychologically after making or missing a shot.
It actually is crazy when you think about it, how psychological like sports is, or like how mentally sports is. Like I feel like some players, or just like people in general that probably you know or I know, like some players just like they have so much skill, but like mentally it's like their decision making can't be the best, or just mentally for some reason they just can't put their skills to use. And like low-key having like the mental skill of like actually believing in yourself and like believing like you can do it and like put the skill to it is more important than actually having the skill, if you think about it. Cause like it's so easy, like bro, like you see it with so much like professional athletes all the time. But like if you're in sports, you're around sports, or you play sports, you see it all the time too. Like the mentality and like the psychological thinking process of like, let's say whenever you make a mistake, or like let's say you miss a shot, or you sell, or you do this, or maybe make a good play. That is like so. Sports is kind of basically like when you think about it, all sports is all mental. Like when you think about it, even when it comes to like 99%, like 90% is mental, or like around like 70 to 90. Because when you think about it, when it comes to workouts, you being consistent, most of that is all mental. Unless obviously you got injury or whatever, like you're just, quite frankly, you're just not gifted enough to even keep doing it. But other than that, like just the consistency, like how hard you can go, how much pain you're willing to take, how hard are you willing to grind? And like when it comes to in game, like believing in your abilities, believing the word that you put in, all the lab time you have, believing in your like decision making and all that. Obviously, you're not always gonna do the best, make the best decisions, but y'all see what I'm saying? Like it's so
a phenomenon that was dismissed for decades, but those who've played basketball knew all along was a real thing.
If you can't keep going or not, if you can't keep pushing,
the success of previous shot attempts does in fact increase the chances of success in the following attempts, proving the existence of the hot hand.
Yeah,
10 years ago, Klay Thompson set an NBA record by scoring 37 points in a single quarter. Even crazier is that he shot a perfect 13 for 13 from the field, 9 for 9 from 3, and hit both of his free throws.
I wonder like what the Kings were thinking. Like this man just went 13 for 13 and scored 37 points in one quarter.
37 points, one quarter.
Literally not taking, bro, that's wild. My brother was taking no dribbles. Went 13 for 13. I think took 1 or 2 dribbles that whole time, gave him 37 straight. That's disgusting.
Single miss.
That's
Based
so
off of his
nasty.
shooting splits from that season,
in his mouth.
The chances of him pulling this off were about 0.002%. So either Klay Thompson was the luckiest man alive on that night, or his hands were on fire.
Hands were on fire. What the heck?
This is 14-year-old Jeremy Gohi, one of the highest-ranked basketball prospects in
14?
the world in the class of
How tall is
2028.
he?
Lately, Jeremy's name has received some extra buzz for his recent performances and the accelerated progression his game has seen over the last year. But there's one quality in particular that makes Jeremy one of the most unique prospects in the world. The fact that he is 7 feet 6 inches tall. He's
He's 7'6" at 14? Bro, I ain't like, this kid is not, bro, what the heck, bro? 7'6" at 14 years old is absurd. My brother body has to be fragile because there's no way that's even healthy for that to happen. 7'6" at 14? I don't even know if I can, like, how is your body processing? Like, are you even still growing? Like, if you continue to grow, how tall are you, bro?
14-year-old running around with kids half his size. And with each passing year, it seems that these larger-than-life prospects are becoming more common. Every other week, a new name popping up with a height next to it that looks like a typo. And many of these prospects aren't playing a traditional back-to-the-basket big man role.
They're more like starting to get more perimeter, more outside game.
Skills that you would usually associate with wings, smaller players, and perimeter guys, which has led some fans to believe that at this rate, the NBA will one day be exclusively full of mega giants at every position in possession of skills they have no business having. But
because height matters a lot, but at a certain point, you being that tall, you can't move like a 6'2", 6'1", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guard, or like it's not. No, that's not.
This idea that the NBA is heading towards being a league full of Victor Wembanyama's is a myth.
Yeah,
at least for the foreseeable future. Finding players over 7 feet, let alone 7'6", with the tools to become serviceable NBA players is
and actually be able to stay healthy,
as it's ever been. In fact, finding 7-footers who can stay in the league at all is a difficult task. In 1990, 10.2% of all players in the league were at least 7 feet tall, and up until about 2010, they remained about 10% of the league. But then this number slowly began to fall. Each season, pure size playing less of a factor in the league. The market share big men once had began to shrink, eventually ending up where it is today, where 7-footers make up just 6.5% of the
There was more 7-footers back in the 90s than there was in 2025? Bro, that is crazy to think about. I would for sure think there was more 7-footers in the league now than there was in 1990. And this is lower than most of the recent, bro. I ain't gonna lie, that is actually a crazy, interesting fact, bro. The league got shorter in that aspect.
Yet, nearly half of where it was 35 years ago, with every inch above 7 feet exceedingly more rare. The league featuring just 1 to 6 players 7'3" or taller 12, 13, 14, given 15 time for the last 3.5 decades, a rate that has not increased in recent years. Now, looking into the future, there is currently only 3 players taller than 7 feet on the 2026 NBA mock draft board. 2027 also features just 1 player over 7 feet.
I wonder if that Jacob kid gonna be
projected to be 14, drafted, bro. And if finding the oversized talent wasn't hard enough, developing it is almost impossible. Throughout the last 10 drafts, 37 players who are 7 feet or taller were drafted. Of those 37 players, 25 of them are still in the league. And of those 25, only 4 of them have a game that is even somewhat utilized on the perimeter. But this list includes
Bobo need a chance, man. He need a better opportunity, a better chance.
If we exclude players under 7'2", then a decade worth of supersized big man talent gets reduced to just 4 players. Now, at the moment, there are 339 players who are currently listed as NBA prospects through 2027. These are players who are either being scouted by teams across the league or have NBA potential, according to analysts. Of these 339 players around the world, only 6 of them are at least 7'2". And of these 6,
that's not surprising.
1 of them is projected to be drafted. Regardless of...
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, so this is low-key changing, like, I wonder if, let me know if it's changing, this is low-key changing my perception of, like, the league, too. Because I thought the league was just only going to get bigger, especially, like, with the 7-footers, but It looks like it's Loki just going down,
What you
like
see
down.
online, players with this
Which is
size, let alone guard skills,
interesting.
are still extremely rare, and there are virtually none of them currently in the NBA prospect pipeline. So, no, the NBA will not be a league full of Wembys anytime soon.
Yeah, Wemby is just generational, bro. He ain't normal. 7-footer ain't supposed to be moving like that, bro. Thank you. It worked.
The whole entire point of sports is to win. That is the ultimate goal of every player, every team, anyone who's ever competed in a sport. And yet, in the NBA, teams are incentivized to lose. Well, not all of them,
Yeah.
just the bad ones. Since the inception of the NBA draft lottery in 1985, tanking has been a common strategy to land top draft picks and potentially.
Which is smart.
climb your
I mean, I
way
do it in
out
my
of
league all the
NBA
time. I get it.
relevance. If you're having a bad
Y'all be playing my league. I do it in my league all the
might as
time,
well
man. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go back. Y'all couldn't hear.
potentially climb your way out of NBA irrelevance. If you're having a bad season, might as well make it a little bit worse to better your odds at getting a top pick
Yeah,
in the
why not?
draft.
That's
but
smart
the
thing to do.
validity of tanking and if it actually works long term is still a topic of debate.
For some teams like the Hornets and the Hornets is bad organization. For some teams though, the tanking don't even matter. They just gonna be butt regardless. I don't know how it's possible.
Blowing up an entire season or two really increased the chances of a team winning more games and contending for a title in the future? Well, this shouldn't even be a question, because this myth is true. Tanking
Yeah,
for
duh.
top
I was about to
draft
say, there's no
picks
way
is
that's a
not
myth.
only extremely effective,
that's false.
it is the fastest way out of the pits of NBA standings. Between 1966 and 1984, the team with the worst record in the league had a 50% chance of landing with the top pick.
Dang!
Toss. Like a literal coin toss between them and the team with the second worst record. But teams took advantage of this, so over the years, those odds have decreased drastically to where
Yeah,
they
now
are
it's like,
today,
what,
where the
12%
three teams
if
with
you have the worst record or
records
something
in
like
the
that?
league each have a 14% chance of
Oh,
getting
never
the
mind.
first
Dang,
overall
14,
pick.
never mind.
1 in 7 odds. Odds that are so slim that it shouldn't be worth throwing a whole season away for. And yet, the worst teams in the league continue to take those.
I mean, it depends on the prospect, baby. Like Victor up in there, yeah, it's worth it. But I mean, I feel like it just depends how your season is. There's a whole lot of factors
year
into
after
that.
year. Because it works.
But I feel like they
From
do rig it sometimes. Because him to the Spurs, come on, bro. Great.
2000 to 2020, the teams that landed with the number 1 overall pick in the draft averaged just 34.8 wins per season in the 3 seasons leading up to their tanking season. Then, of course, most of them tanked for that number 1 pick, averaging just 25
W
wins in those
research. Shout out to
tanking
Jimmy
seasons.
Hyrell and
But then
whoever
they
else
bounced back,
researched this.
averaging nearly 41 wins in the 5 seasons following their number 1 pick. A nearly 15% increase in wins from before
Okay.
winning the draft lottery to after winning it. But this boost in success doesn't just apply to teams who won the draft lottery. Because
Wait,
here
do y'all support tanking though? Because like, yeah, people say like that's lame that you're trying to lose on purpose, but at the same time, if your team is butt, like imagine being like the like the Wizards, for example, or like the Hornets, or a team along the lines, or a team that you don't stand a chance of even making it in the playoffs. Why are you trying to win ball games if you could get a great prospect? Depending on the draft class, a generational prospect, Kafka Victor. Maybe Cooper Flag, potentially. Maybe he might be generational. But, like, why wouldn't you just do that? That's common sense. Like, what are they trying to win for? Them trying to win games, let's say they actually win, and then they just get a mid-pick. That's not doing nothing for the future. That's not even doing nothing for them. So, quite frankly, if you don't support tanking, which people be like, well, your job is to win. Well, no, bro.
are the
You gotta be
average
smart. You know what I'm
records
saying?
for teams who landed with the 2nd and 3rd overall pick in the draft. Teams who also saw a notable boost in wins
Dang.
after landing a top
So it
pick.
don't even matter.
In fact, on average, teams won 5 more regular season games per season in the 5 years following a top
foul.
3 pick in the draft. Now, where the real difference comes in is the playoffs, where teams who won the number 1 overall pick in the draft lottery averaged just 0.6 playoff wins per season leading up to their tanking season.
Basically
in
none.
the 5 years following their first overall pick, they averaged
Dang! Wait, playoff wins as now? Are they talking about games or series? They're probably talking about games. I don't think they're
3
talking about
playoff wins per season. 5 times the amount of playoff success.
Yeah, like,
they
it's
had
just
prior
common
to their
sense.
pick
That's for
and
sure.
prior
Tanking
to
is for sure the
And
move.
again, teams that landed with
If I was
the
a
second
GM, I'd be, let me see Victor. If I don't think we win the finals, I'm tanking. I'm
third
sorry.
pick also saw a
Straight like that.
drastic increase in playoff success in the 5 following seasons. Use any metric to determine the merit of tanking in the NBA, and you'll find that if teams are willing to be horrifically bad for one season, they will more than likely bounce back better than they were before they tanked. Even when teams don't select a player who turns out to be a franchise cornerstone, on most occasions they still end up flipping that player for valuable assets, making a top.
There is really, I feel like, especially like in certain predicaments, there's really only good that can come from taking, to be honest. Unless like you're the Cavs and like you got Anthony Bennett and he ain't do jack, then that's just unfortunate. Or like you got super bad bust, but there's always something good that can come from taking.
In fact, tanking has
for the
been
most part,
so effective for so long that the NBA has tried everything in the book to mitigate the advantage it grants teams. And still, even after reformatting the draft lottery 4 times, the overwhelming advantage lies with the team who is willing to be horrifically bad.
Exactly.
Now, the catch here is that very rarely, if ever, does tanking lead to a championship. The reason for this being that chronic losing usually happens within dysfunctional organizations, which then pushes these bad organizations.
Hornets, Wizards, does Jazz count? What else?
To tank, which then leads them to getting top-end talent that never gets developed, utilized properly, or built around because the organization is bad, which inevitably leads to more tanking. So if a team
they're just stuck in the cycle, bro. They're never getting the Hornets ain't never getting out of that,
in a position to tank in the first place. But if they just don't want to be an NBA bottom feeder anymore, then tanking is unfortunately an incredibly viable option.
Oh, so is that it? Hey, man. You know what I'm saying? That is the end of the video. Y'all boys let me know of everything that was talked about, everything that was said. If y'all agree, y'all don't agree. You know what I'm saying? But if you did stay this long to the end of the video, I truly do appreciate it. And I am streaming at the same time as recording this. So if you do want to tune into the Twitch, it is Jaden Smalls. I will put that in my bio. But anyway, man, with all that being said, if you have not subscribed to the channel, man, please subscribe. And if you do want to become a member of the channel, that will be linked down in the description below. But y'all boys can have a blessed day in Jesus' name, and I am out. This is John, man. Love y'all boys.